First name's Jeffrey, last name's Babb, but I go by JD Babbs. I've always been drawn to creating stuff, just anything, like any different medium since I was little, made stuff, and I started getting into like large composure stuff in high school, and then found out that like I could be like getting tattoos, So I started drawing stuff that I wanted tattooed, and then started taking it to tattoo artists and hearing their ideas and being like, oh yeah, my idea was stupid anyway. And that was nice to like let go of some of my expectations of my art being on my body and being like, oh, I can trust someone else to like do this, for me. I went to barber school before, and I cut hair for almost 5 years before I was a tattooer, before I ever started tattooing. But I had gotten tattooed by Brad down in Altus, and I brought him some of my art, and he was like, you gotta meet some of these dudes in the city. They're doing some real folky stuff like what you like. And I was like, oh, cool. Just like didn't even think about like asking him who that was or anything. But then come to find out it was Brandon and Scott, or who he was talking about. And then yeah, like after cutting hair for 5 years, I was getting tattooed by Scott, getting tattooed by Brandon, started hanging out in the tattoo shop, drawing, painting, sweeping, all that. I had always thought about getting tattoos. Always saw myself getting a lot of them, but I didn't know like how many or like I didn't know how to go about like starting that. I was like, I want my neck done, I want my chest done. And then I went and got my first tattoo on my arm, just small on my forearm, and like set like a realistic kind of precedent for what that was gonna look like, getting kind of coverage wise. My grandpa had the same tattoo I got as my first tattoo, Rose, with his nickname on it. It's a doodle across it in a banner, and he had the exact same thing. So that like made it a little easier for me to help, make up my mind about what I wanted to get tattooed. But yeah, I never really saw it as like a thing I was gonna get to do, so I didn't even pursue it right out the gate. Traditional tattooing to me is about less of like the borders that denote like its origin. It's more about the school of thought, the lines to hold it in there, the shading to balance it out, and color for depth. You need all of these things, and there's like a rhyme and a reason to it. It all transcends like borders or cultures, because it's shapes, forms, and recognizable patterns and colors, like in these characters or creatures or ephemera that like there's just something deeper to it than what it is, like the word behind it. You see it and you can tell that it's something. I think Keepsake is definitely a pillar for Oklahoma tattooing, and that's like even if I removed myself from it fully, you know what I mean? This is like my favorite shop to be at the end of the day, no matter where. Like this is like, I love this place and I love the people here. There's something like real tattoo-y about it, it feels like tattoo when you walk in, and that's how it should be. And I want to keep forcing that. This is a place where you come to get tattoos, and there's no question about that. It's like and that you're going to leave with something that you enjoy, like for years and years to come. Whenever people trust me to tattoo them, it blows my mind still, because it's like, well, why? But at the end of the day, they do trust you. They want something from you. Like that's why there's such a big influence during apprenticeships to like, it's like about killing your ego or like stripping you of your ego. And it's because you shouldn't walk around thinking you're the best thing to ever happen, but you have to have enough like wherewithal to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put that on there. Like we're gonna do this tattoo, and when they're stoked on it, want to keep coming back, that like lights a fire under me. It makes me want to make something more. I find myself in this, like I'm mostly trying to continue creating like a kind of old school traditional feel in like my art. And I'm trying to like, live a life that's like centered around tattooing first and foremost. I don't know that I would ever want to be, you know, like the outlaw tattooer, and I don't know that I'd ever want to be the, like, show up in a three-piece suit tattooer, but like walking in, like having like the opportunities to do any of that is pretty cool. You know, you could lean into any of those facets and there's something to pull from. Yeah, I don't quite know where I fall into that. I just try to live as organically to it as I can.